Michael, if you don't fucking tell me what it's like to be a liberal in 2026, I'm gonna be really upset. What's the experience of being libtarded? Just tell me about it. I'm literally asking a libtard as we speak. Ash?
Who the fuck, Johnny Cat? Is that biker?
You guys are up.
Joe?
Goddamn, you guys are up early.
Jonathan, Rexford, what are you doing, my boy?
Getting ready to clock into work.
Well, have a nice shit.
Setting.
Yeah. Well, I
Gas
showed up
station
to
or
work on
Panda?
accident. I just checked my schedule. I don't have to be here till 11 a.m. I'm here at 9. Yo. I'm not at the gas station. I'm at Panda. Yeah, I go
Hey,
hard in
don't
the
make
paint
fun
for
of
these
John.
guys.
Bro works
I
2
realized
jobs.
immediately
He's
something was
respectful
wrong
as
when I
fuck.
saw the other main cook pull up. I've fucking done it again. This is the second time I've done this. Well, the thing is I usually look at the schedule the night before, and I forgot to, but I automatically assumed I was gonna be here to open, so I got up super early to be here. And it's better to do that than to be late.
That's true.
But guess we going back home. Actually, no. You guys are going to Walmart with me. That's what's
Hell
gonna
yeah.
happen.
Hell yeah.
Save money, live better. Type
Yeah,
shit.
Walmart. I'm gonna hit this fucking Stickerello first.
Bro's gonna go to Walmart, go shopping, bring his groceries home, go to work at 11, and then they're gonna be like, John, what the fuck? You were supposed to be here at 9.
Be so fucked up. I like how everyone here is too waiting too, because the funniest thing is all the regular workers are always here on time, but the fucking manager never shows up on time. The manager should have been here 10 minutes ago.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, typical manager shit. Always the last ones to show up.
And the first one's to fuck your wife when you're not looking as well. My last manager fucked a horse.
What? Huh?
No,
What'd you
10
say?
whores. Michael, you want to know what happened earlier? A spider crawled across my desk, and then it crawled up a pill bottle, and then it just like blinked out of existence. I have no idea where it went. I actually don't know if I developed schizophrenia or what.
You know spiders can jump like super far, right?
Yeah, I know, but you would think I'd be able to see its movement. Like I could see it, and then it just stopped existing. Like I don't know. I feel like it's a schizophrenia delusion.
They just jump that fucking dude. I've been astonished by how fast they can jump. Spiders are insane little jumpers. They jump faster than you can probably see them jump too.
John, maybe you would like to join me in my inquiry. We were just asking Michael when you joined, what's it like to live as a liberal?
I don't know why you're asking Michael. I don't know why you're asking Michael. That's the last person to ask.
What is Michael, a Nazi?
Well, he's a Jewish Nazi, the worst kind.
Alright, fine. What's it like to live as a Jewish liberal? Libs are Nazis,
He is a
bro.
Jewish
Liberals
liberal.
are right-wing leftists.
Honestly based.
Ugh. Boy, boy. Part 3 or part 2 are probably my favorite ones out of them so far.
Of which ones?
Part 2 or part 3?
Ugh.
There's a toss up between those two.
Talking about Yo-Yo?
Oh yeah, for the openings of One Piece or whatever.
The OPOPs, you mean?
Yep.
That's a high quality
Alrighty.
joke because One Piece is shortened to OP and an opening is also shortened to One Piece.
OP.
Yeah, the OPOPs.
Yeah, I might have to start watching One Piece now. This shit's not looking
You
too good.
do. You
You
do
should.
have to watch it. It's very good.
Wow.
Someone else in this call should start watching it, but does not want to experience peak, I guess.
Well, Michael is a fucking liberal. And he lives as a liberal too.
Kevin.
He'll tell you he's not a liberal, but I've seen him vote for economic non-reform. You know, he wants the economy to stay the same.
Hey guys, I know that like everything's screwed right now, but the Democrats, they're gonna fix it, guys. It just takes a
This
long time.
slander's so good, I could die.
The Democrats, they're going to rub their hands together and change nothing for 30 years, and then let the Republicans come in and tear up papers. It'll be awesome. So, Michael, are you tired of this yet? Should I keep going? All right.
Tired of winning yet?
So, what does it feel like to live life as an Obama voter, Michael?
As an Obama voter.
You like it when they bomb elementary schools? It's funny, too, because everyone's always like, Obama blew up an elementary school. Well, now so did Trump.
Yeah, bro.
We
It's
fucking
like,
hate
oh, wow.
foreigners.
A US
Especially
president
foreign
is criminal.
children.
I was just about to, bro.
You were going to say what now?
I was just about to say the
What?
same thing. Like, fuck them kids, bro. But in like a bomb explosive way.
Yeah, not in an Epstein way, which Trump
Uh-huh.
also does. I wouldn't be surprised if you were rich enough and elite enough, there's a bowling club where they put their fingers inside kids and then throw them down the lane. You know it's real, Michael.
Yeah.
It's called Epstein Lanes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael was there too.
Yeah, he's a liberal, so he got invited. yeah, the child bowling.
Only there for the bowling.
The type of bowling with the guardrails on.
That's what we call pussy bowling. Who plays that shit with the guardrails on? If you're like 5 or old or younger, then it's acceptable.
Pretty real.
We're gonna cry.
You guys remember when the guy who ran the Florence bowling alley got crushed to death by the machines and died?
Yeah, dude, that's tragic.
He was a
That
nice
guy's
ass
cool.
guy. I remember when we were in school, he would always be like, "Oh, you don't have any money? Well, just pay me next week and you can bowl this week."
Yeah,
Well,
was a nice
that's
guy.
probably why he got crushed.
What?
What?
You know,
He was a
God
nice
said,
old
"Hey,
man.
you can't be given handouts like that. I don't approve."
Shit,
of
you're
your
right. You're
crushed-
right. Republican Jesus came in and said they shouldn't be asking for a handout, and then crushed him
They
to
should be
death.
getting a job.
Poor
And then
old
he
man,
crushed
though.
him. Yeah.
It was
Well,
a true
maybe.
tragedy.
Yeah. Tragic, but you should have listened to Jesus.
Also true.
Also true. Also true. Based.
You guys
And
remember that
noted.
statue that the fucking geeks were obsessed with? Anyone remember that? Yeah, it's just a
War
funny, silly
statue.
word for the people who we went to middle school with. You remember we would walk to the bowling alley and there was one statue that just had tits on it, and they would always talk about it every single time. They'd be like, it was on Main Street, yeah, there was just a statue like right outside of a building. Do you know what I'm talking about? I only really remember it because every single time that like the people in my PE class, like the guys would be like, "Oh, here we go, guys! Look, look, look!" And they would like all like grab the statue and shit. It was super weird. Epic, ultra classic meme though.
I can't hit my protein.
Haven't tried
52
eating
chicken nugget.
an entire cow, have you?
Well, your mom.
Damn it, I'm never recovering from this.
Yeah. Get destroyed.
But at least I'm not living like liberal over here.
Living like liberal.
I'm never gonna stop making these memes until I'm told to.
Until I'm satisfied.
Well, I am a good boy and I do what I'm told.
I am turning you guys into Republican HQ though, so.
Whoa. That's too far.
Nah.
We don't make Republican jokes.
I'm not joking.
Oh, okay. In that case, you're fine then.
Just kidding. I'm taking you guys to the fucking wokey fucking hospital, and you're all getting a boy-boytions. It's over.
Boy. No, my baby.
Say goodbye.
Mark, I got a boy abortion. It's not fucking okay.
Shit.
Michael, why aren't you laughing? Nuh-uh.
Michael won't legalize comedy, so.
He clearly doesn't like Elon Musk.
Yeah, Michael, if you're a true fan of Elon Musk, name everything about him.
Ooh, you messed up one detail about his nut hairs. You're out.
Yeah, you get fucking hell, dude.
What do you mean he's not a Jew? He's rich.
He's got fast sex and super packs.
There isn't one. It's gonna show you a guy from Skid Row. Yeah, that actually sounds quite accurate.
Oh yeah.
Latest, up-to-date, reliable information.
Why do you think Nick Fuentes fucking is kicked out of like most banking systems? He pissed him off.
Yeah, you don't fuck with the kite. They'll kill your ass. Shit. Guys.
Dude, these is
What's
the
that thing
fat
Sebastian
godskins.
say?
These are actually the fat godskins.
Sebastian used to always be like, it's time for my 5 o'clock dick flattening or some shit.
Yeah, Sebastian ought to be saying stupid shit like that, like a group shit fucking an hour, bro.
Yeah, bring your
Make sure to get
spoons.
spoons. Yeah.
He's such a fucking weird guy.
Shit, though.
He's funny, but I don't respect him at all. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, life.
In this last video for this particular curriculum for the course, we're going to take a look at the global hero myths and overview them before we dive into the stories themselves.
What the fuck? Testing. Is it way too loud? Is it too close? Or... Oh my god, I hate this shit. Look, you couldn't hear me at all.
You get fucking hell, dude.
There was one joined.
How annoying.
Fucking hell, dude.
There was one.
Is it way too loud? Is it too close? God, shut up. You sound so dumb. You couldn't hear me at all. Oh my god. Is it way too... Oh my god. Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit. Because it's right in my face. It's right here. Whatever. Who cares about all that other shit I was saying? I hate doing schoolwork. I hate it. I hate mythology class. It's not fucking interesting. Not like communication is interesting. Philosophy is pretty interesting. I like the government class that I took. And the US history class. That shit was really interesting. I do not fucking like this mythology bullshit. And I learned a lot. So, oh my god. This final for this class, it needs to be an original myth. It's going to be some kind of hero myth because it's based off of this hero's journey bullshit. And it needs to include like three myths from like 3 different cultures or whatever that contribute to the story. So this is going to be a nightmare to figure out. And one of the types of myths I actually paid more attention to was the trickster myths with like Loki and some other motherfuckers. There's like an African spider trickster called Anansi. He's pretty cool. I actually read a lot of these trickster myths, so I have a better understanding of them. I have no idea how to, this doesn't feel like a mythology assignment. It feels like an English assignment or like a creative writing assignment. I don't know. Like, I would much rather just do a review of like some in-depth review of a myth, because I can actually research it and take it apart and shit. And I have to build some... Instead, I have to build some stupid fucking story that's not going to make any sense at all. Whatever, dude. I don't know why I get texts from Sonic like every day talking about their deals. Must have signed up for some bullshit.
This module is going to cover 6 heroes from around the world's mythologies. It's really important from the get-go to be clear that this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many heroes in myth around the world. What we're doing by looking at these stories is we're looking at diversity in origin, we're looking at diversity in story type, and we're looking for just diversity in geopolitical, where these stories come from. We have the Heracles myth, or often called Hercules. Hercules is his Roman name, Heracles is the Greek name. This is a classic tale thanks to Disney. It's a tale of rage, though, in reality, not very different from the Disney story. It's a tale of penance. So why did the Greeks love Heracles? Why did the Romans eagerly embrace him the way they did? There are Roman emperors who would impersonate Hercules in the arena and fight slaves to show off dressed as Hercules. Why did they care so much about him? Why was Hercules, even though he wasn't a full god?
Dude, Disney is the modern, like, they're the modern version of, like, mythological poets. There's so many, like, classic things that have come up in this class that tie back to Disney for, like, the modern culture, just because they've, like, made things so popular. Well, I guess another okay example is Marvel with Loki. Fuck is joining? It's John again. But it always comes back to Disney for modern stories and modern myths. It's kind of crazy.
One of the most important gods in ancient Greece. We're also going to look at the Epic of Mawendo, which comes from sub-Saharan Africa. And as many African myths exist only orally, so this one is also oral. It features a child hero, which is a subtype, which is not uncommon in African myth, but is pretty uncommon elsewhere. Mawendo tends to stretch our ideal of what it means to be a hero. Is he a hero or is he a cranky baby? Interesting to kind of think about as we look at his story and what he does. We'll look at the Oedipus myth, made famous by Sigmund Freud for its psychology, but in reality, the myth itself has far more to do with philosophy. Regarding Oedipus himself, and the whole story follows his entire family, but Oedipus as a character himself, he's almost a hapless hero. It really raises the question, can we truly escape ourselves? Can we escape the fate that has been woven for us, or do we make it as we go? We'll look at the adventures of Thor, and we'll be pulling those stories from the prose Edda, like we have through the entire course, and also from a poem called the Thrymskvitha. The Thrymskvitha comes from the poetic Edda, the other major source of Norse mythology, and it shares a story that's not in the prose Edda. It shows Thor doing some things that are very not like him, and he seems very resistant to do in order to gain his hammer back. So what is it that makes Thor a hero? Is it just because he's strong and has a hammer? Does he change in?
So we got Thor. Is Oedipus a hero? Oedipus always sounded like just a stupid fucking story that doesn't even make sense. And then we have that African fucking child. Hercules, yeah.
Grow? Does he embody something in Norse myth? We'll also take some time to look at Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent.
Quetzalcoatl. Did he say it right?
Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Quetzalcoatl has dual roles in Mesoamerican myth. He plays both creator and hero. As a hero, he almost doesn't seem very heroic by our standards. He doesn't seem to win. But is that required for someone to be a hero? And as a creator, he plays an important role. His mythology has also changed over time. Prior to the Spanish conquest in the 1500s, Quetzalcoatl was a minor deity, just one of many feathered serpents. But he has since become a symbol of the pride and of modern indigenous Mesoamerican culture, and to this day, he becomes more and more important. We'll wrap up this course by looking at the Epic of Gilgamesh, the beginning, one of the first stories ever told, the first hero story ever told, and the world's first hero, who also stretches our definition of being a hero. Comes from around 2600 BCE, around 4,600 years ago is when he actually lived, based on a real person. Most of the story is not true, but he was real. And his message.
Hold up. Hate this shit. Alright, so we're doing, this is module 5, heroes. Hercules, Thor, African child. I don't know his fucking name. I forgot. Mawindi? Was that it or something? Mawandi? I don't know. Oedipus. Okay, well, it switched to it. Mawindo. And, oh my fucking god. Quetzalcoatl. Coatl? Where does this guy come from? Mesoamerican, okay. And then we have Gilgamesh. Oh my god, fuck off. What is that? Oh, okay. Fuck organizing all this.
An important role also stretches our definition of being a hero. Comes from around 2600 BCE, around 4,600 years ago is when he actually lived, based on a real person. Most of the story is not true, but he was real. And his myth seems to start to be written down only 100 years after he died. I mean, he must have lived quite a life that people would start mythologizing him that quickly. His story deals with the quest for immortality. It deals with the question of how do we understand and deal with death. That in itself seems to be an immortal part of the human journey. A lot of that honestly kind of makes us ask ourselves, what makes us human? Here we have Gilgamesh trying to find a way to live forever 4,600 years ago. We do the same in different ways. Have people really changed in the last 4 millennia in spite of all of our advancements? As we look at these heroes and as we look at these stories and participate them in the course, I invite you to kind of ask these questions to yourself as we go and to see what these stories have to teach us and what they have to say to us today.
I hate the massive white background on these. So where's my window? I also hate that whenever we go over the hero's journey, there's like a bunch of different versions of it. Like there's this one. I guess this has 17 fucking things, but I've heard that there's 3 big parts. Maybe this is what it is: departure, initiation, return. And then the one for our final is supposed to be 12 parts. And then this guy is mentioning 17. Understanding the 17 stages of the hero's journey. Okay, and Joseph Campbell is the guy that came up with the hero's journey idea for describing stories. Joseph Campbell has both good and bad about him. He was one of those brilliant scholars whose work actually affected more than one field of academics. A professor of literature whose contributions made an impact in literature and mythology and even in comparative religion. Hollywood's film studios use elements of Campbell's archetypes frequently, and George Lucas has credited Campbell for the structure of the Star Wars franchise. Star Wars. Taking a mythology course and not covering Campbell usually leaves something out, as his monomythic hero's journey, as it is usually called, is an extremely helpful tool to understand and construct most narratives. At the same time, students studying Campbell ought to do so with their eyes open. Campbell has been accused of overgeneralizing at times in order to make his points applicable, and his hero's journey has downright sexist elements. In some ways, studying Campbell can turn into an ethical discussion, with one side suggesting Campbell ought not to be studied at all, and the other side suggesting that ignoring Campbell throws out the baby with the bathwater. An older saying which suggests that there is some good in Campbell's work that cannot be ignored, even though there is some bad that should be discarded. Our approach to Campbell in this module will be just a little off-center in this debate. We'll look at Campbell's monomyth as he proposed it, call out the sexism where it is apparent, and suggest ways his work could be and has been rectified to be both useful and non-sexist. Yeah, one of the sexist components that I saw was, I don't know if this will go over it, but woman as the temptress, yeah. Or maybe meeting with the goddess, this kind of stuff. It's like there's always an evil woman that's trying to lure the hero away from the important stuff. As a literature professor, Campbell spent his life looking at stories. Over time, he began to see commonalities in stories, and as he continued to expand his study of stories to include narratives in mythology and folklore from around the world, he continued to see these commonalities. Combining them with the psychology of Sigmund Freud and especially Carl Jung, he coined the term monomyth to describe a basic pattern that all good stories tend to follow, and he named this monomyth the hero's journey. Everyone left. Get out. Actually, I'll hang out here. It should also be said that the hero's journey over the decades has seen its fair share of changes and adaptations. At one point, there were no less than 4 scholarly versions of the story going around. For our course's purposes, we're going to look at the journey as it was originally developed through Campbell's influential book, in which he introduced it, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Cool. And when did this guy live? He died in like the 80s. This is a 20th century type of guy. Is there anything important here? I guess. I guess we'll do like 5.1. Joseph Campbell. This guy proposed the general pattern of the hero's journey. But the way he designed it had some flaws. Just useful, because this is useful, but it has flaws, is what I'm trying to say. Like sexism, demolished. And I can also link this if I try. Cool. Hero's journey at its simplest. Hero's journey is best understood at 3 levels, from the simplest to the most complex. At its simplest, the hero's journey The hero journeys from the ordinary world, a place where nothing extraordinary happens, the once upon a time part of the story, to the world of adventure where conflict and struggle and usually triumph exists. Then, usually, the hero returns to the ordinary world. At this stage, Campbell's theory can be best understood in these layman's terms. Number 1, the ordinary world. Number 2, the world of adventure. So once upon a time, and then but then. And then back to the ordinary world. Happily ever after, or some shit. Okay. Three big parts. Using the word general too much. 3 big general parts. Starting in the ordinary world, then going on an adventure with conflict and struggle, then returning to the ordinary world type shit. After the adventure. The hero's journey developed. This brings us to the middle level of complexity and understanding of the hero's journey. Campbell saw that this basic pattern, even though it involved only 2 worlds, tended to involve 3 phases. He called these phases departure, initiation, and return. In departure, Campbell chronicled how the hero begins in the ordinary world and then has to leave it, usually because of external events. The hero is usually an unlikely one, and almost always initially unwilling to leave the ordinary world, and the circumstances which draw the hero into the world of adventure are usually well outside his control. Note the his pronoun. For Campbell, heroes were always male. Interestingly, though, his theory applies for non-male heroes just as well, as will be seen later, of course. So that's the departure. First stage, departure. Starts the unlikely hero in the ordinary world. And provides some external reason that he must go on some adventure, even if he doesn't want to at first. That should be more than enough for that phase. I already know all this shit. In initiation, Campbell traced the various ways in which a hero goes from unlikely and unwilling to an accomplished victor. The hero may have unwillingly crossed the threshold into the world of adventure, but in a series of events and phenomena, the hero eventually conquers it. This includes, among other things, facing a series of temptations, finding help, and getting coaching from a father figure. Again, note the sexism. The coach is a father figure, never feminine. This gender also can be changed with the theory still working. Yep. In return, Campbell outlined the means by which the hero returns to the ordinary world, whether the hero is tugged back into it against his will, or if he goes willingly, and how he becomes the master of both worlds, the ordinary world and the world of adventure in the process. So it looks like to me all of the exciting stuff happens in the initiation part. That's where all the action is. Where most the action is. Most of the action. There's, what is there? Temptations and some other shit. Crossing a threshold. Conquering. Finding help. This is where the hero crosses the threshold into the world of adventure. Right? Fights temptations and gets help from others. I'll say gets help from others and eventually conquers this world. Okay, the last stage. What does he call it? Return. Return. Campbell outlined the means by which the hero returns to the ordinary world, and he's the master of both. Okay. Sometimes unwillingly, I guess. Sometimes unwillingly. And is the master of both worlds. Yeah, fine. In the last stage, return. Stop fucking up my notes, dude. Alright, we got all of that. And then it's just this, going into it more. The complex hero's journey. Campbell's hero's journey does not end with departure, initiation, and return, however. Within each of these, Campbell discovered either 6 or 7 further elements, which he termed stages. All told, there are 17 stages in the hero's journey. The full hero's journey is as follows, and the sexism is fairly evident. Fairly evident sexism. Yeah, and it's all this bullshit. Adventure, refusal, supernatural aid. 6 or 7? You mean 5 or 6? Unbelievable. Supernatural aid, crossing the threshold in the belly of the whale. Road of trials, meeting a goddess. Woman as the temptress. Atonement of the father. Apotheosis. The ultimate boon. What the fuck is apotheosis? I've heard this in like World of Warcraft. To deify. The elevation of a human to divine status. Cool. The ultimate boon is like the big reward, I guess. Refusal to return. Damn. The magic flight, the rescue from without, crossing the return threshold, master of two worlds, freedom to live. What Campbell meant by each of these terms will be described in the next portion of the exploration. Very, very exciting type shit. Here. And that's 5.1. I like that we can blast through that. What's this? Um, 17 stages of journey. And we'll put this on here because it looks nice. Yep. Oh my fucking god, it's so long! It's so long! Ain't no way. Bro! How many fucking words are on here, dude? 3,400 words. Alright, we're just gonna look at some of them. What is supernatural aid? Campbell's name for this stage can be misleading. In the stories Campbell read, which are primarily works of folklore and mythology, the narratives tended to teem with magic, so it made sense to him to call this stage supernatural aid. However, in many cases, in today's narratives, which follow Campbell, the supernatural aid isn't supernatural at all. For something to count as the so-called supernatural aid, it has to be an event with two characteristics, has to be outside the hero's control, and it has to definitely draw the hero into the adventure. Okay. So this comes after the refusal of the call, and this forces the hero to go on the adventure. Very often in old stories, this aid is magical, but it doesn't have to be. In rare cases, the event is a person. Most of the time, though, if a person is involved, they're the cause of the supernatural aid and are not the supernatural aid themselves. Perhaps the hero's home is endangered, and there's no way for the hero to protect it without joining the adventure, or perhaps the hero wants something and learns there's no way he can get what he wants without going through the adventure. Sometimes the hero can just be in the right place at the right time and get dragged into the adventure. No matter how it happens, supernatural aid causes the next stage of the journey. Crossing the threshold. What's the difference between the threshold and the belly of the whale? Okay. Belly of the whale stage is closely connected with both the supernatural aid and the crossing of the first threshold. And rather than be centered... Oh my god, I hate reading. Rather than be centered around an event or person, it is centered around a realization. It becomes woefully apparent that the hero is underprepared for what he's about to do. This can be shown directly through dialogue when the hero asks questions that his companions consider too simple, or it can be shown through action as the hero has to be rescued by his companions early on, sometimes repeatedly because he's inept. It can be a country boy who's entered the big city and is looking at the skyscrapers in awe until a pedestrian yells at him to get out of the way and moves along, startled. It can be a city slicker entering farm country and realizing he has no business operating farm equipment. It can be a human entering a world of fairies and other magical beings, struggling to use magic that everyone else uses. And it could be the moment the hero realizes that he might not make it through this story. Campbell named this stage the belly of the whale because he was alluding to the biblical story of Jonah, who was swallowed by a big fish. It was in the fish that Jonah realized he was outmatched and began to beg for help. No matter what the setting or circumstance, the hero has a similar revelation. Okay, so let's see. Fucking asshole. What? Supernatural aid? I'm not reading all of them. I can't fucking do it. The supernatural aid stage does not need to be supernatural. It just forces the hero to embark on the journey. Okay, belly of the whale. After crossing the first threshold, when the hero realizes that he is extremely underprepared and out of his depth, trials, meeting with the goddess. I don't care about these because they don't apply to my final. What does apply? Rejecting the call, meeting the mentor. There's some of these that I really don't understand. Like, look, when I first looked at this, I thought that the ordeal and the resurrection were kind of the same thing. But it looks like there's a big ordeal where the hero loses everything or loses something important. And then there's a reward. And I thought, okay, this is like the climax of the story here. But there's like this big loss and then this big reward. And then they go back. And then the problem comes up again. And this is the climax. This is kind of what it sounded like to me, which was really confusing. So we don't care about that. This is a mentor. Yeah, the hero's coach. Meeting the mentor. I feel like it's just these later stages that are kind of harder to understand. Okay, not much has been said of the father figure in the hero's journey so far, mostly to try to keep things simpler. But from an early point in the story, the hero is usually introduced to a figure that serves as the hero's coach. Most often, this character is a parent, and while in Campbell's version, the coach is a male parent, hence atonement of the father, over time this character has been adapted into all sorts of roles, including mother, coach, trainer, older friend, and mentor. The important part is that the figure is a mentor who is given permission by the hero to challenge the hero to greatness, who is allowed to try to improve the hero. This father figure is different from the goddess figure because the level of inspiration tends to be parental or platonic, but not romantic. Sometimes this figure appears early and then disappears. Other times the father figure is present all along. At this point in the story, as the goddess tries to convince the hero to abandon the quest, the hero is sorely tempted. It's a burden that is more than the hero can bear, in epic stories especially. In that moment, the hero needs a father figure to re-enter the story and reassure the hero that they can and will be victorious in the journey, and that the hero's journey should continue. The easiest example of this is Mufasa in Disney's Lion King, another Disney moment, where the spirit of Mufasa appears to remind Simba who he is and tell him to go back to fight Scar. At the point where the hero is about to give up, the father figure makes an appearance to give the hero whatever the hero needs to finish the quest. Okay, so the mentor... Oh my god, what the fuck does atonement mean? Act of making amends for an injury, wrong, or sin, often to restore harmony. Okay. So is this whole stage, it's not just meeting the mentor, it's when the mentor gives you the last push to get through the journey. So then you might meet the mentor. Wait. Okay. I feel like you would, I don't know, it doesn't mention it, but you would meet the mentor earlier somewhere. Like in my final, you meet him in the first part, in the, what is it, the departure stage? Yeah, before you're even in the super action part. Okay, so the atonement of the father stage. Oh my god. In the atonement, the mentor or father figure gives the hero the last push he needs to complete or follow through with the journey right before he gives up. He would give up. Cool. Apotheosis is a Greek term meaning to become quite the god. And Campbell uses it aptly to describe what happens next. The hero has been through the road of trials, been inspired and then tempted by the goddess. And in the moment of greatest weakness in the goddess's temptation, the hero has been put back onto the journey by the father. Now the hero is fully actualized, and the hero's full potential has been reached. In a coming-of-age story, the hero is now an adult. In a sports movie, the hero has finally become the professional athlete, not just in name, but in skill. In movies with more magical and supernatural themes, the hero masters the magic, or embraces the divine or semi-divine, or supernatural selves. A handy way to understand this stage is to see it as the point where the audience knows the hero will succeed in the hero's journey. Oh my god, I closed the fucking notes. Bruh. Mythology. Okay, so what stage would that be here? Ordeal, reward. Oh my, I hate this. Okay, dude. In the apotheosis stage, is that how you spell it? The hero the hero gains and possesses the skill or tool that he needs to conquer the journey. Succeeding, refusal to return. That's not gonna happen, right? The road back, maybe. The magic flight. If the hero does decide to return to the ordinary world, it won't be the same. But before that happens, the hero has to actually make the return. This involves a journey back to that threshold across so many stages earlier. And this journey back, because the adventure is now over, happened so fast that Campbell called it the magic flight. If the hero's journey involved a physical journey from one location to another, then the magic flight has the audience skip the journey back almost entirely. The hero simply reappears near the first threshold. To put it a different way, the journey back home is boring, so it is summarized magically fast. Okay. The magic, this is barely a stage. Usually very quickly and with no difficulty compared to crossing that threshold the first time. This part is often skipped in movies or stories. Cool. Rescue from without. Sometimes the hero does not wish to return, but has to return anyway. At this point, the hero is dragged back against their will to the ordinary world by an outside person or force, and this is what Campbell meant by the phrase rescue from without. The easiest example in film and 20th century literature is Tolkien's Return of the King, where Frodo and Sam have defeated the Dark Lord Sauron and are waiting to die on the slopes of Mount Doom, an erupting volcano. What the fuck is this? I've never heard of this. I've heard of Frodo, but I don't really know who it is. Frodo in particular states he expects to die now. Oh, Frodo in particular states he expects to die now, a refusal of return. When Gandalf the wizard appears riding on the back of a giant eagle to swoop down and carry Frodo and Sam to safety. In another story, the hero might wake up to discover their journey was only a dream. This is what happens to Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. What the fuck is resurrection? This is a totally different thing. Refined by Christopher Vogler. Look, the final highest stakes climax where the hero faces a ultimate death-like ordeal. But then there's also an ordeal stage. I hate this assignment so much. So this is a different kind of hero's journey. It's whatever. Crossing the return threshold. If the hero does return, then there is a moment when the hero crosses the same boundary they had to cross back in the departure phase. The boundary between the world of adventure and the ordinary world. Back in the departure phase, the hero crossed the first threshold into the world of adventure. Now they cross the return threshold back to the world of adventure. Did you mistype this? Back to the ordinary world, or does he go back to the world of adventure? This is oftentimes a stage that is seen but not heard. Disney's Mulan simply pauses at the gate in the wall around her home before entering. So she's returning home. Usually this stage is not overt or obvious, but it's still significant. So that you fucking completely mistyped this. Well, I understand that. Kind of, right? Return, maybe, I don't know, return with the elixir or something. And now these. Okay, but if the hero is home, the hero is not the same. They may be back at the starting point of the story. They are also still fully actualized characters, having reached their full potential. They were novices and in the belly of the whale at the beginning of their time in the world of adventure. But they have now mastered the world of adventure. That mastery they bring with them back to the ordinary world. Okay. If they weren't already masters of the ordinary world before they left, they will use their mastery of the world of adventure to assert themselves in the ordinary world too. For example, a hero that may have been picked on in the ordinary world will now stand up to the bully. A hero that may have been picked on in the ordinary world will now stand up to the bully unsuccessfully or the hero who started our poor... Who typed this? Dude! This is so fucking confusing because whoever the fuck typed this isn't fucking literate in English. The hero who started out poor in the ordinary world is now rich and a person of means. Cool. In the mastery of both worlds stage, the hero is home and no shit. The hero is fully actualized. And a master of both fucking worlds, obviously. If they weren't... Okay. And the mastery of both worlds stage. The hero is fully actualized. Fully actualized and a master of both worlds. Obvious fuckingly. If they weren't a master of the ordinary world before, they now use their powers gained from the adventure to master the ordinary world as well. Very cool. Freedom to live. And at this point, the mythic story ends. The hero is fully actualized. Oh, the story... Oh my god. The hero as a fully actualized victor, master of both the ordinary and adventure worlds, is freed by their victory to live however they want. This is where the end credits roll, and the theme music plays, where the hero rides off into the sunset, the happily ever after. Joseph Campbell's hero journey, while based on his study of mythology around the world, can be applied to more than just one myth. In fact, it's applied to film frequently. One of the clearest examples of Campbell's hero's journey is none other than Star Wars: A New Hope. What the fuck is that? No, I don't care. I'm not watching Star Wars. To this film we now turn. We're going to Star Wars? Oh my god. I haven't seen this fucking movie. Are they gonna spoil it? Han Solo dies. Obi-Wan Kenobi dies? Why are they spoiling it? I was just looking for someone that dies. Man, I don't care about this bullshit. Does it really follow? Like the exact thing? Maybe it does. I don't know. Type shit. I don't know. Fuck this hero's journey. Because there's this guy's stage, or this guy's different stages of it, and then there's this whole different one, obviously, for my final. And I think the only thing in the hero's journey that, I mean, different little stages are helpful, but it's just going to be the departure, initiation, return, you know, the ordinary world, the adventure world, and then returning to the ordinary world. It's like the only thing consistent in all the different versions. Or it's the main thing, the main takeaway, I guess. I don't know if I want to write anything about this bullshit. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the hero myths. I don't even know if I should take notes on these or if, like... Or if I should just read them. Hercules. We just watch a fucking video about it, quite frankly. I feel like that's what I'll do. Let's see if there's anything good. Hercules myth. Look, Ted Ed, I guess. They always have these cool animated things. The myth of Hercules. 12 labors and 8 bits, whatever that means. I hope it's not cringe.
I have cherished every moment and insight that I've got while I've been here. At Harvard Business School, you get the network. You get the heated
Why the fuck is the ad so
and you
long?
get the reflection.
I'm not going to Harvard, bruh. Harvard Business School. I ain't doing it. Sorry.
Hercules, son of Zeus and champion of humankind, gazed in horror as he realized he had just committed the most unspeakable crime imaginable. The goddess Hera, who hated Hercules for being born of her husband's adultery, had stricken him with a temporary curse of madness and his own family of casualties. Consumed by grief, Hercules sought out the Oracle of Delphi, who told him the path to atonement laid with his cousin, King Eurystheus of Tyrrhene.
Hold up. Okay, so he has to atone for that, and he has to go to his cousin or some shit.
A favorite of Hera's. Eurystheus hoped to humiliate Hercules with 10 impossible tasks that pitted him against invincible monsters and unfathomable forces. Instead, the king set the stage for an epic series of adventures that would come to be known as the Labors of Hercules. The first labor was to slay the Nemean lion who kidnapped women and devoured warriors. Its golden fur was impervious to arrows, but Hercules cornered the lion in its dark cave, stunned it with a club and strangled it with his bare hands.
Damn!
He found no tool sharp enough to skin the beast until the goddess Athena suggested using one of its own claws. Hercules returned to Tyrrhene wearing the lion's hide, frightening King Eurystheus so much that he hid in a wine jar. From then on, Hercules was ordered to present his trophies at a safe distance. The second target was the Lernaean hydra jar, frightening King Eurystheus, Tyrrhene, in one of its own claws.
That just frightened him so much
Hercules
that he hid?
returned to Tyrrhene wearing the lion's hide, frightening King Eurystheus so much that he hid in a wine jar. From then on, Hercules was ordered to present his trophies at a safe distance. The second target was the Lernaean hydra, a giant serpent with many...
This has so much shit. Is this actually what Hercules did? He fought like a million fucking monsters? So what's going on so far, if we kind of track it with the hero's journey, is... I guess maybe he was an ordinary dude, and his seems like his call to adventure is whatever, like murdering a bunch of people or whatever, going into a blind rage, and that forced him to go on this adventure of atonement. And this is the trials. I bet he's gonna have temptations or temptress or whatever. Is he gonna have a mentor?
Many heads. Hercules fought fiercely, but every time he cut one head off, 2 more grew in its place. The battle was hopeless until his nephew, Iolaus, thought to cauterize the necks with fire, keeping the heads from regrowing. The dead serpent's remains became the Hydra constellation.
Interesting.
Instead of slaying a beast, Hercules next had to catch one alive. The Cyrenian hind was a female deer so fast it could outrun an arrow.
Jesus.
Hercules tracked it for a year, finally trapping it in the northern land of Hyperborea. The animal turned out to be sacred to Artemis, goddess of the hunt, and Hercules swore to return it. When Eurystheus saw the hind, he demanded to keep it instead, but as soon as Hercules let go, the animal ran to its mistress. Thus, Hercules completed his task without breaking his promise. The 4th mission was to capture the Erymanthian boar, which had ravaged many fields. Advised by the wise centaur Charon, Hercules trapped it by chasing it into thick snow. For the 5th task, there were no animals, just their leftovers. The stables where King Augeas kept his hundreds of divine cattle had not been maintained in ages. Hercules promised to clean them in 1 day if he could keep 1/10 of their livestock. Augeas expected the hero to fail. Instead, Hercules dug massive trenches, rerouting 2 nearby rivers to flow through the stables until they were spotless. Next came 3 more beastly foes, each requiring a clever strategy to defeat. The carnivorous Stymphalian birds nested.
So one other thing, his nephew, I don't remember his name, helped him with the Hydra, and that's part of the. Well, it's not going to mention it here. It's kind of a helper. It's not really a mentor, but it's like a helper. It would be here. Tests allies and enemies. So that's an ally.
In an impenetrable swamp. But Hercules used Athena's special rattle to frighten them into the air, at which point he shot them down. No mortal would stand before the Cretan bull's mad rampage, but a choke
what the fuck are we doing?
Impenetrable beastly foes, each requiring a clever strategy to defeat. The carnivorous Stymphalian birds nested in an impenetrable swamp, but Hercules used Athena's special rattle to frighten them into the air, at which point he shot them down. No mortal would stand before the Cretan bull's mad rampage, but a chokehold from behind did the trick. And the mad king Diomedes, who had trained his horses to devour his guests, got a taste of his own medicine when Hercules wrestled him into his own stables.
Jesus!
The ensuing feast calmed the beasts enough for Hercules to bind their mouths. But the 9th labor involved someone more dangerous than any beast, Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. Hercules was to retrieve the belt given to her by her father, Ares, the god of war. He sailed to the Amazon land of Themyscira, prepared for battle. But the queen was so impressed with the hero and his exploits that she gave the belt willingly. For his 10th labor, Hercules had to steal a herd of magical red cattle from Geryon, a giant with 3 heads and 3 bodies. On his way, Hercules was so annoyed by the Libyan desert heat that he shot an arrow at the sun. The sun god, Helios, admired the hero's strength and lent his chariot for the journey to the island of Erythea. There, Hercules fought off Geryon's herdsman and his 2-headed dog before killing the giant himself. That should have been the end, but Eurystheus announced that 2 labors hadn't counted: the Hydra, because Iolaus had helped Hercules kill it, and the stables, because he'd accepted payment. And so the hero set about his 11th task.
The shit stables that he cleaned and got cattle or something?
Obtaining golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides nymphs. Hercules began by catching the Old Man of the Sea and holding the shape-shifting water god until he revealed the garden's location. Once there, the hero found the Titan, Atlas, holding up the heavens. Hercules offered to take his place if Atlas would retrieve the apples. Atlas eagerly complied, but Hercules then tricked him into trading places again, escaping with apples in hand. The 12th and final task was to bring back Cerberus, the three-headed hound guarding the upper.
Oh my god. Hurry the fuck up. Hurry the fuck up. Fix it. Hurry the fuck up. Hurry the fuck up. Hurry the fuck up. Seriously, I can't fucking watch anything. Come on, bro. It's the most irritating shit in the world. Alright, whatever. Are we back yet? YouTube is such a massive cuckold. I can't watch a fucking educational video. Are you kidding me? Look, that's literally wasn't. I'm not even bullshitting. I'm actually like, whatever. Alright, well, we're not watching Hercules. What happened at the end? The labors. Okay, the lion, the hydra. Oh yeah, the deer. Boar. Clean the stables. The birds in the swamp, the bull. Man-eating horses. The belt, she just gave him the belt. Capture the herd guarded by a two-headed dog. Didn't mention that one. Alright, that video had him like out of order. I guess it doesn't matter too much, but multi-headed dog. His last labor was undoubtedly the riskiest. It was so frustrating that he was completing all these tasks. He imposed one he believed to be impossible. Go down to the underworld of Hades and capture the ferocious three-headed dog, Cerberus, who guarded the gates. He used the souls to help convince Hades to hand over the dog. He agreed to give him the dog if he used no weapons to obtain him. Hercules succeeded and took the creature back, causing this guy to be fearful of the power and strength of this hero. And is that just the end? Okay, he got a wife or some shit. Whoever could beat his sons in an archery contest, Hercules won, but the guy abandoned his promise. Does this even matter? I don't know. It's okay. We're a little more familiar with Hercules. I think that's all that matters. Type shit. How long was that out for? Hold up. Let's look. About 5:20 to, I guess, about 3:20. So it's like 2 minutes whenever that happens. I fucking hate that shit. I've tried to do that before. Just watch a random video, especially while I'm doing schoolwork, and it just doesn't fucking work at all. Type shit. Okay. So which one is Hercules? He's 5.4. Hercules. What the fuck is wrong with my keyboard? I used to be able to control and then shift at the same time, but now the arrows don't work when I hold shift, so I have to like slowly highlight everything. I could just do this, but whatever. And what's 5.3 is like Star Wars example. Why are these bold? Cool. Hercules murdered a bunch of people in a blind caused by some god, so he went to complete a bunch of impossible trials and battles with giant monsters to atone. Or some shit like that. I don't know, dude. Is there no way to watch how to avoid copyright on YouTube? I don't think you can. Create original content. I'm sure it warned me before it shut my stream off. I just wasn't paying attention over here. Type shit. What happened to my camera? Oh, that's about where it's supposed to be. Alright, I'm kind of done with this, but I don't know if I want to do even more schoolwork or just fuck around. Play video games. I'm so fucking mad that I didn't turn this stuff in. Let me look at my grades over here. I'm surprised that my mythology grade looks like it's better than my communication grade. I have like an 80% in mythology. I don't know how. I guess I just did good on a couple projects or something. And this guy doesn't even have the grades for this communication class set up correctly. I have to like add them all up and figure them out myself. Last I checked, it was like 60 something or maybe 70. We can do it now. So each week has an assignment and a quiz that are worth 20 points, and then it has a discussion worth 15. And I'm missing a lot of these. So, well, the first welcome stuff had, was that 25? And I missed the introduction discussion, so that's whatever. We don't have to worry about that. Hold on, let me just add all this up. This is 40 plus 15 is 55 times 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus the 25 at the beginning. So this is the most points I can have in that class. At least right now. And let's see how many I actually have out of 245. We have 7.5 plus 19 plus 40 plus 20 plus 10 plus 18 plus another 20. Oh god, this is really bad. So then how do you calculate it? You do like, can you just divide this by, no, you have to divide this by 245. So I have like a pretty majorly failing fucking grade in that class. But then what if you bring this back up? So what if I just did great in this next week? And I got, what is it, 50, we'll just say 50 points. It's still not going to be very good. Well, I have a final essay and a final exam. The exams are usually really easy. They're literally just multiple choice quizzes. The essays are difficult, depending on what it is. Essays aren't that hard if they're just like analytical or descriptive. I can't fail a communication class, dude. This is like an easy fucking class. Fuck. Oh my god. TED Talks are copyright, aren't they? Yes. Most TED Talks are licensed under a Creative Commons license. I don't want to put a TED Talk on. I was literally just watching a video from TED Ed. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Type bullshit. Alright, I'm just gonna go eat and chill for now. The stream was just schoolwork. I've said this before, but it's kind of nice to stream schoolwork because for whatever reason it's just easier to stick on it for longer. Because I guess I'm kind of imagining I'm presenting it to other people too, even though nobody really watches, but somebody could watch. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat. I got a whole bunch of fucking frozen food I can eat and good shit. Yeah. Alright, have fun. I'm leaving. I'll stream later or some shit.